Dungeons floors should be releasing relatively quickly and one after another. If the alpha is anything to go off, it should take around 3 to 4 weeks between floor releases. Considering the fact that floor 3 has been out on alpha for a while, I wouldn't be surprised if floor 4 came out sometime this week. Or I could be just completely wrong. That would be pretty awkward, but also par for the course for this channel. Anyway, if you look at the current trend, the enemies in dungeons tend to be about twice as tanky as the previous floor, and the damage being ramped up via the selection of mods. For example, a lot of the zombie soldiers will be replaced with zombie knights, and zombie lords will probably come into play as the rarer zombie mobs. The puzzles are also going to become more difficult, but you don't really need good gear for that. But the real question is, how much do you realistically need to prepare for the 4th floor? The short answer is, not a lot. I've seen people recombobulating full set of zombie soldier armor and adding human potato butts, and it's kinda unnecessary when you'll replace it with zombie lord gear or even some floor 4 boss drop gear that beats everything now. It's a waste to go all out, but bear in mind that floor 4 is where your exciting gear begins to break down and become ineffective, and if you haven't already, you should stop using non-dungeons gear as soon as possible, although you shouldn't super upgrade it because it will be a waste. So I've compiled a list of affordable gear for every class in brief, and I also don't want to go into details because there isn't really a whole lot of details. Archers, get skeleton master gear and a machine gun bow. Make sure you also have someone on your team with an overflux to keep you powered up for your mosquito bow ability if you have one. For berserkers, zombie soldier is alright, as is zombie knight, but adaptive armor is probably better as it makes you much more versatile and tanky. If you grinded enough for Catacombs 20, get a silent death sword as it's incredibly powerful right now, otherwise the zombie knight sword is also strong and the adaptive blade is, unsurprisingly, very strong. If you don't have any of those and somewhat have a glided Midas, this will be your best choice. Healers, unfortunately, do not have a whole lot of options. Simply put, do not get Holy Dragon armor because it's terrible. Stick with 3-Force Adaptive and Demander Helmet, or alternatively, 3-Force Zombie Soldier and Adaptive. Heavy armor in its epic form will beat out tier 12 perfect in both defense and health and can be found relatively cheap on the auction house. An adaptive blade is also nice as it heals your teammates 5 HP per second, which, when you add all the boosts of your healing effects, is heavily amplified. Mages can probably wear anything and still manage to be overpowered, but the growing meta is 3-Force Adaptive and Dark Goggles. 3-Force Zombie Soldier and the Bonzo Mask is also a very good combination to keep you safe, whilst also having a high mana pool, although I wouldn't be surprised if Zombie Soldier got nerfed, as it seems too good for every class right now. A Bonzo Staff and a Pigman Sword are still your best options. Tanks? Heavy armor or adaptive armor is a good choice, but the adaptive armor piece bonuses give it the edge because you will be taking 15% less damage on top of all resistance, and that's basically unbeatable. Although bear in mind that as a tank, your defense is what gets boosted and not your health, so it's probably a better idea to save your coins for floor 4 drops and not buy adaptive armor, which is likely to become obsolete when super heavy armor drops on floor 4. Also, get the adaptive blade. And yeah, that's about it. Try not to over-prepare, as the entire point of dungeons is that you will be swapping your gear out regularly as you progress. If you already have wasted your coins on some ridiculous armor set, then sell it off to someone else who hasn't watched this video yet. And yeah, that's about it. Smoke grass, skate fast, and eat ass.